Hello, everyone. My name is Harini Krishnan, and I go to Folsom High School. Welcome to Know Your Charity, a talk show series that I'm honored to host in 2021. The intent of this series is to bring representatives or leaders of various nonprofit, charitable, and voluntary organizations in the greater Sacramento area. I'm hoping through this series we get to hear the great humanitarian work that these people and their organizations do in the community. This will serve as an inspiration for students and their families to help out in the community, especially during this pandemic. Today, the organization we're going to talk about is very close to my heart. I've been part of the Folsom Highs chapter of this organization, as well as mentoring the Sutter Middle Schools Club. I was also the president of this club at Sutter Middle School. Thank you. Without further ado, I have the honor of introducing Kathy Van Son, who has worked as an education program coordinator with Hands4Hope Youth, making a difference for over 3 years. She lives in Folsom with her husband and their golden doodle, Bailey. They have 2 young adult sons and a daughter in college. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Harini. I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So without further ado, can you tell us a little bit about what Hands4Hope is?
Sure. So Hands4Hope is a youth-led organization. So the youth-led aspect is very important to us. And our mission is to inspire and empower youth in leadership and in service. And so Hands4Hope has programs in schools and also community engagement programs all the way from Folsom through El Dorado Hills up into Placerville.
That's amazing. Okay. So what's Hands4Hope's mission is what are they trying to achieve?
Sure. So the way that we inspire and empower our youth is through 2 components of our organization. We have our education program and then our community engagement program. And in both of these, our youth participants explore, they act, and then they lead. And they explore social issues in our community, choosing issues, concerns that they have that they see around them locally. So it's always with either people or animals in need, some aspect of that. So they explore. We have speakers come and that are part of our partner agencies that help with these issues in the community. So for example, if say the students are concerned about helping homeless shelters in the area, we might have a representative, a director, or maybe a volunteer from the local homeless shelter come and speak to our group of students. And then they are able to hear firsthand what some of the needs are of these agencies that are helping with these issues. And so that's part of the explore. And then they act on that, and taking action is by choosing and designing service projects. And then they lead those projects from start to finish. So we partner with 40 nonprofit agencies in the area, and we're in 18 area schools. So hopefully that kind of explains what we do.
Yeah, that's so amazing. So you mentioned that you cover mostly people and animals. Do you guys cover anything else, or is that your main focus?
Yeah, that's our main, that is all of our projects, all of the issues that our students explore and act and lead on are either people or animals. But again, we work with 40 different agencies in the area. So different issues include maybe homelessness, military support. Again, I said animal rescue, supporting veterans, foster care, children in foster care. We do a lot of work with seniors, citizens in need, family support, domestic violence issues. So it's really very freeing for our students. They're able to get together and collaborate and talk about what they're concerned about, and then research, again, our partner agencies or maybe new agencies in the area that meet those needs. And our goal is to have our students really research the issue and not just go out one day and kind of do some type of immediate community service, but that they explore the issue and find out different ways that issue can be, needs in that issue, within that issue can be met. So, so a lot of our projects are longer term. And as you said, I work with different high schools and middle schools. And so our projects are, we usually do about 2 projects a year. And we do either fundraising or raising funds for something that particular organization or agency needs, or we do a drive. So for example, we might do a clothing drive or a toy drive at Christmas for children in need. That's a couple examples of what we do.
Okay, that's great. So how do you as an organization operate? Do you guys have employees, or is it more volunteer stuff?
So we have a staff of about 8 people, 8 part-time staff, and then we utilize a lot of adult volunteers, and of course our organization is built on youth volunteers in middle school and high school. And so again, we have that education program component where students can volunteer through clubs in their schools. We also have different after-school committees that any high school student can join. So even if you went to a high school in the area that doesn't have a club, you could join one of our committees. So for example, we have a homeless committee. And so that's an after-school committee where you could be a part of that and help learn about homeless issues in the area, and then work together with that committee to create a project that would help with it, serve the community in that area. And then the other thing though, is that we also have community engagement, and that's a great way for people just to get started. So they can people look at our website and there's a list of different community engagement activities that we have on there, or opportunities. And so, for example, that might be providing dessert or making a craft project for a senior citizen home in the area that we partner with.
That's great. Also, I had another question, was like, how do you guys get the funds to run Hands4Hope, like the organization?
Okay, that's a great question. We are privately funded, so we get all of our funding through private donations and then grants. And then, so that is an important question. So for example, when my youth in my schools have a bake sale or some type of a fundraiser, 100% of those funds raised in that project will go to the organization that they are supporting. So that's a great thing to note. So
yeah,
hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. So another thing is like, how do you guys select your employees or volunteers, or are they just anybody can?
Yeah, so in terms of employment, periodically we will have positions open up, and a great way to stay on top of that, if somebody is really passionate about youth-led organizations and helping our youth learn how to lead and how to be responsible citizens in their community, then we have employment opportunities come up periodically on our website. As far as volunteering, again, there is an area on our website where you can submit a volunteer application, and really it's more personal, that if you contact us and we can find out what someone's strengths or interest is. We of course have fingerprinting as a requirement and an application process, but there's lots of opportunities for volunteering and for helping in our organization.
Okay. On the volunteers topic, do the volunteers need any training, or is it just anybody like with minimal training can do any? thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a volunteer training, not class, but session that we ask people to take. But really, again, it's a lot of it is just what people's strengths are and what their experience is. But we always can use adults, especially to help us, and definitely with students, with our youth. It's really just more of a heart to serve, and then we can help you find the areas that you are best suited for. So if it's through our education program, then students who go to the schools that have clubs, at the beginning of the year, there's always an application process and an information meeting. Otherwise, any middle or high school youth that are interested, they can just look on our website and explore opportunities. And there's a pretty clear application process or signing up and registering in our program. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, during this pandemic, do you guys have any challenges that you've been facing during this time?
It has been a huge challenge, as I'm sure it has been for all different types of organizations. It has been a big challenge for us because so much of what we do is obviously in person, both in our committees and our clubs, and then the way that we serve people. But we have great, creative, innovative youth, and our staff has worked very hard to figure out how to be resilient in this time. And so we have rapidly become efficient in Zoom and tried to be creative in how to be engaging on Zoom. That's an issue that our student leaders, our leadership teams at each of our schools and on our committees, we have teams of 5 leaders that they've had to really not step up only their technical skills, but to their creativity and how to engage their peers during the club and committee meetings. So that's what we've done. We've really revamped our summer leadership camps to be primarily on Zoom. And we have figured out ways to accomplish what we need to accomplish to meet needs in our community. So I think that's been really a great opportunity for our youth, a silver lining for them to go. The needs of the community don't just disappear, they actually have increased during COVID. And so how do we meet those needs? And we've turned to a lot of online fundraisers, using social media, being creative when we can't have drop-offs for our drives at school, then we've had to find other places. A lot of small businesses have stepped up, for example, to help us out. So it's really a community effort.
Yeah, that's super great that you guys are able to still serve while navigating through this time. Yeah. Do you care to like share the Hands4Hope location or where they can get contacts if people want to come and help out?
Absolutely. Anyone can always email me at Kathy@hands4hopeyouth.org. It's and also our website. Again, it's Hands4Hope Youth, Youth Making a Difference. That on our website, that is a great way to kind of explore the different opportunities that are there for Hands4Hope, and also kind of reach out to whoever is in charge of that program that you're interested in. So that's probably the best way to start. And we are always here to answer questions and help people kind of figure out how to plug in with their strengths and how to serve their community.
That's great. So if anyone is interested, you can contact those 2 emails and go on the website. Do you have any success stories to end the thing off?
Sure. I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is that, again, during this challenging time, this last fall, we weren't sure if we would even be able to have any programs or how we would be able to do what we need to do. and to meet the community needs. And so we've had a lot of success. One of the things is that we've had our Sutter Middle School in Folsom. They chose to help seniors, citizens who are in need and are shut in, and who a lot of some of these seniors in our area are in need financially, but also shut in and lonely. And so our students worked to figure out how to get the message out, and they partnered with Powerhouse Ministries and created over 30 large holiday gift bags filled with warm blankets and hats and mittens and soap and a lot of necessities, also games and card decks, things like that, to brighten people's days and give them something for the holiday that they might not otherwise have any other gifts. So that was one success, is that our students met their goal, and were able to make over 40 holiday handmade gift cards that kind of connect personally with people in the area. So that's just one example of how they're having success learning how to execute a project. So it's kind of a win-win, because the community wins because our students meet a need that's right there locally, but our students also learn how to engage with their community and meet needs.
So cool that like they start so young, like at middle school, and they were able to do that. That was amazing. That's all I had. Thank you so much for coming. We really enjoyed listening to all we can do through Hands4Hope. So thank you again. And thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed and got inspired to help out in the community. I would love to hear your comments or feedback or suggestions if you have them. You can email me at knowyourcharity5@gmail.com if you have anything that you need me to know. Okay, well, until next time, goodbye everybody, and I'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Thank you.